Hello everyone, and welcome to some more horrific news. Okay, we have a bit of Resident Evil news and it looks quite interesting, so let's dive into it. Looks like the original Resident Evil is coming back to PC. A rating for the PC version of the original Resident Evil has sparked speculation. Capcom may be about to release the classic horror game on Steam. Gamatsu spotted the listing for Resident Evil on PC with a release date of June 18th via Peggy's website. At the time of this article's publication, the listing was still live. And there it is, the original Resident Evil 1996 has been rated for PC in Europe. Resident Evil was technically already released for PC in 1996, but I guess it's not actually available via Steam or any digital marketplace these days. Resident Evil first launched on PC in December 1996, just over 8 months after it launched on PS1. Nearly 30 years later, and the original game is unavailable on modern PC storefronts, including Steam. Indeed, none of the original Resident Evil games are currently available on Valve's platform. Assuming this Peggy listing does indicate a re-release, the question is which version of Resident Evil is set for PC. A director's cut of the original launched in 1997, then a year later, the director's cut DualShock version came out. The director's cut includes a version of the game that changes the location of items and enemies, with new outfits for the characters and new weapon types. The director's cut is currently available on the PlayStation Plus's Classics library. Some are even speculating this listing indicates Capcom has a Resident Evil Classics trilogy release up its sleeve. Capcom, of course, has released a number of Resident Evil remakes in recent years to great success. Reports indicate the company is working on the remakes of Resident Evil 0 and Code Veronica, which IGN understands to be accurate. Meanwhile, the next mainline Resident Evil game, dubbed Resident Evil 9 by fans, is also in the works. Right, there you go. So as always, I'll link the original article in the description. But yeah, I wouldn't mind checking it out again. Correct me if I'm wrong, did they make Resident Evil an arcade game as well? Because I am almost certain I played it on the arcade, and it was a shooter. God, I had PlayStation 2 back in the day, and I actually bought my niece a PlayStation 1. And yeah, there were still good consoles. There was a lot of side scrollers, not that were actually quite decent, which are still playable today. Yeah, I wouldn't mind playing this on Steam, to be honest myself. I'd like to go back to it. It's been donkey's years since I looked at it. I remember being hard as hell though, because it wasn't a straight shooter up. You had to problem solve and you couldn't just tackle the zombies. You never had enough ammunition, etc. So just going around blatting the place wasn't an option. And it's interesting that you have a game like that, and puzzle solving tends not to be everyone's forte. It's a bit of a niche market, but the Resident Evil franchise really blew up. Thinking about covering the movies. I think I mentioned this before. I'm thinking about covering the movies on the channel at some point. I think that'd be fun to do. What started off as a cool idea ended up falling off a cliff massively. I remember trying to cover the TV show and I didn't get through the first episode and I gave up. It's horrible. But yeah, I wouldn't mind revisiting the games again. If this is out for Steam, I'll have a check after this. But if this is coming out for Steam, would you be interested in me streaming some classic Resident Evil games? Let me know in the comments. Obviously, no point me doing it if you aren't interested. But just for myself, I'd like to have a wee crack at it again. Sure, it'd be fun. It's nice to revisit the classics, if that makes sense. There you go. What do you think, Alyssa? Is this going to be the re-release of the trilogy of the set, or we're going to sort of go back to the start and maybe tidy up, or are these going to be buggy as hell? Do you know why they do some re-releases and they're just really buggy and unplayable? Do you think they're going to put any effort into it and make it like a decent, playable, downloadable game? Anyway, there you go. Let me know what you think. And just as we say, until next time, go up the channel, do the type of clicking things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.